Yes, Discover. Welcome back. Well, my topic of discussion today is something that concerns you and I. Every day, we go through the same steps every day. Cash. Spending cash. Whether you're spending crypto, beacon, cash, or writing a check, it's all in the form of revolutionary change for many. A lot of people don't even know what tomorrow cash may even look like. And when we talk about tomorrow, we're talking about the future. Now, you know, September, the last day of September 2025, our federal government is no longer supposedly creating paper checks for their employees, which that source of labor changes, therefore every source of labor begins to change. Which means your boss is geared towards also stopping paper checks. Most likely they want to do digital money, direct deposit, which made sense to me. I was like, how are they going to change this overnight? I was thinking direct deposit, it's not cash. It's a currency of money that they would digitally replace the money, digital. So when they replace the cash, it's not a cryptocurrency that they're trying to create out of the cash value that we have, because they're trying to make all cash that we're losing into this digital cash value. That we should have in our future. Yet, I know you heard talks of people saying, nah, they're not going to get rid of money. Well, that remains to be also true. Because a lot of people are still going to want to use money. They want it. They can't help it. They're used to it. And coins. The federal government is not going to stop creating the dollars and the coins so quickly at that particular time or moment that we transition on. Because the value of the dollar has to reach this digital form and be equal to it, which would make sense. They don't want it to replace it, but they're transforming it digitally, making sure the currency of our money is of its value in its digital form. A lot of people thought it was crypto or just beacon, just this kind of beacon and that kind of beacon. There's all kind of beacon coins. Each state has a value of their own value beacon coin. So the Treasury, if you look and do your research, by 2043, I believe, the cash value of the money that we have should be not used as much as 90%, 60%, maybe even less than that, 30, 20% valued. They want to change the currency of our money. Even though cash will still be around, first, the mindset is the paper checks, to get rid of that. If we get rid of paper checks, we start paying you by digital wallets, our digital card, a pay card. And you know you got your crypto wallets, your Beacon wallets, you got them wallets. All kind of ways. That's why we was telling you, learn how to utilize these things. Then you'll learn the difference of the value of it, so that when we are in comparison or even trying to be at a better value state, you will understand by comparison the difference in our pros and our cons in using it, or if we don't use it. Is it better for us, or is it going to hinder us? These are the facts that are before us right now. And even though we got a lot going on with the changes, people looting places, people starting riots, people getting upset, is all a distraction if you're unaware of what's going to happen. We got all this going on, and you're just worried about what you're seeing on the news. But then one day you go into your pocket and you have all this money, and then you learn that the value of your dollar isn't the same. You go to most places, they may not have it because this business may decide not to utilize the dollar. It's by choice. Or maybe have just enough of. Or maybe just don't have it at all. So you may have to go to another place or find another way of getting the value of assets that you want to receive, and finding out that value can only come in the value of money. Will the dollar money cease? The question, again, the answer is no. Over time, the goal is to decrease how much paper money is used. However, there's other countries that are still going through what changes we're trying to go through, changing the value of the dollar into a digital form. And we're faster at technology. Could you imagine the slowdown they're going to have? So even though you think it's slowing you down, you're really, really, truly ahead because of the U.S. currency. It has not broken down in deterioration form. It has taken on a new impact that impacted the whole world. the change of money, the value of money, making money more valuable through just digital form. Then the clash of paper money, which is only the revolutionary change of how we spend money, of how we altered our life to alter change, whether it's to build financially, globally, or even at a local state. The change is here to build change for you, for your banks, for your jobs, for your children, for your savings, for your retirement, for your children's savings, for your children's college. The way we going to bounce money back and forth is going to be quite interesting. Doing it and performing in the digital aspect, the value of the dollar. So that is why it's taking time, because as the dollar begins to rotate itself into a new climate of change by man himself, this dollar also changes how you and I begin to look at each other, begin to look at how we spend the dollar, where to spend the dollar, the value of spending that dollar. Because I know the value of $100, $200, $300, but when it comes to the digital form, is it 300? Is it really that value? All these we have to take into, all these things we shall learn. So far from studies, if you look at El Salvador is one that I've studied and definitely know that the beacon coin itself had value. It deceased in value and came back in value, but its government had made sure that its people did what they had to do to help the economy and the choices that they made to help you learn how to utilize the changes financially at the bank, at work, at school, when you're shopping. These are all new changes. It's no longer here's a couple of dollars here. Now you're going to have to know exactly, because that dollar may be a couple of dollars off. But these are things that we won't have to take in and learn. We're learning through our superior government, who's going to eventually give us the downplay of knowledge to understanding. That's why we've been playing back and forth with crypto coins and beacon coins. And also not just that, but learning about the digital dollar, if you've taken your time to learn about it. Learning how they're trying to turn one coin into a master value. The digital dollar. There's a lot of questions about it. There's a lot of questions about a lot of changes that we didn't know. Tesla was one. We didn't know about that. Battery cars. We didn't know it would go that far. We didn't even know how long it takes to charge one, 24 hours? But we learned all that We wasn't interested in it, but we became interested because we began to see the value of the car. We begin to see the customers being happy about what they receive without even testing it ourselves. But we believe. So do you believe in this digital form of money that's coming our way? The paychecks, we know we was going to go paperless a long time ago. We were waiting. Now it's here. Remember the great email? Nobody wanted an email, but you had to get an email if you wanted to get an email about where your money is, about whether your loan was approved. It's not just a phone call anymore. It's a link to your bank, a link to this, a link to that, all through your email. Well, when it comes to that digital dollar and the changes that we're going through, and these changes are changes because of lost value. The dollar doesn't value the assets that we created because our assets has become more in tune with man-made, more man-made products. The wood is wood. Lumber used to be straight lumber from the tree. But now lumber could be mixed with another type of whatever made by men. That's not 100% lumber, 100% wood. You can get chip wood. You know how they take the tree and they cut the tree up and you got all the chips down and they can put chips back together, glue it together. And there you go. And you're happy with it. According to you, as far as you know, it was wood. But when you tore open the couch, you notice this wood was a different type of wood. This is not natural 100% wood. And then you learned that men have learned more than what we thought he was given. And more enough, sometimes they will not even tell you because it's something new, something that saves money, something that saves time, and also saves trees. It's how you look at things. So we're going through these changes. So man itself is going through these changes. Man himself is making the right themselves. If man sat aside, the rights can't start itself. But because man is upset, we have wars and riots. Depending and depending, but tending and depending upon the mentality. Where exactly is that behavior is going to take anyone if they do not sit back, evaluate, and find out what exactly went wrong. Should I pick up that stick and throw that stick that has fire to it into that store because I'm upset because I can have what I want? Or can we learn a better way? Like our government is trying to find out a better way. Can we learn a better way? Rather than pick up a rock and just throw it at somebody to get the attention. How about picking up a rock and making something with it? Maybe taking it was just dust and writing, "Stop the violence, don't throw a rock here." Something totally different than what is expected. Isn't that how life is with us? Something always happening totally different than what we expected. We knew this time would come. We knew that there had become an era where cash would need to be really evaluated. Because in the past, recessions has brought us to a place of rebuilding over and over and over. Yet, we have not went back to zero, but we still at probably well over $33 trillion deficit by now. Even though we have overcome recessions. So wouldn't it be wise for wise men to think of a way to help the value of money so that we can prevent a recession? Isn't that the whole part of people combating against what's good enough and what's not good enough for us? What to invest in, what countries. We can learn from. China, supposedly, September 2025. Supposedly, the value of their money is supposed to be, when it comes to cash, they really want to oust the cash by September 2025. We know China been on this a long time. We are talking paper checks here in the U.S., but China is actually talking, we're trying to reach the cash. Our currency of cash, breaking it down to where digital form is used. And the goal is 100%, if not 90 to 100% of the time. So I not only say these things, I can prove these things because I always do my research before I talk. And in my description box, I will have definitely links about China, where they're at, because that's our competition state when it comes to money. That's the state that can't keep up with us. Country, Russia, all these different continents all around. But with you, when it comes to money, are you ready? We talked about everybody else, but are you ready? I know on some of my YouTube, especially Failure Gone Fast, I've been getting people geared up, telling them about digital money, telling them about these depositing your money, but they were deposited digitally, and making sure that you learn about the value of these coins and what these coins can do for you. Learning about the crypto, learning about the Beacon coins, learning about the digital form of money, so you're not left out there. And I gave it to you, and I hope you listen, and I'm going to give it to you again as it come also in investing, because I told you to start investing in Beacon coins. Make sure you place money away into Beacon coins. Is already an access of coins that can be spent, and the same for crypto. Learn about this, learn about digital, learn about the value of our US dollars. How is it going to be different from crypto to what we're doing? Because there is a difference in the digital form money that we are about to embark on, and be ready to embrace it. And do not be afraid, do not be in fear, be ready. Do you understand? So when you see these riots, when you see people going down, it's only because the value of the dollar is falling, but it's also rising. And it will get to where it needs to be, because intelligent men have taken the time to think of a course to get us to where we need to be as they soar into the new change of IA and more. Until next time, don't be afraid. Listen, pay attention. Is it the end, or is it an era of our cash being gone, being decreased, and where there is behavior and change, and anything most of all, is chaos. Anytime there is change, I tell everyone, there is chaos. But we got it together.